How the devil are you? Recently I got back into records, or people like to call them vinyl records. Anyway, right, so I didn't want to spend too much money on a turntable or record player, but I wanted a decent one. So I bought the LP3 Audio Technica, and it is a decent turntable. I really like it. Picked it up for 150 quid in a sale. They do retail for about 200. I've seen them on sale now for about 170-ish. But they're a decent turntable, rated 5 stars out of 5 and what hi-fi. I'll post a review on that turntable just here and in the description box below. It comes with an AT91R cartridge, which is a decent cartridge, and you know, it's always that, once you get something like this, you always say, can I make an improvement? It's that little voice in the back of the head, that itch you can't scratch, oh, you know, and you think, can I make this sound better? So what I've done, I've got the VM95E cartridge, and that is supposed to be an improvement on the cartridge, so the built-in cartridge that came with it. This is an elliptical cartridge, and the other one on the turntable is a conical cartridge. And the elliptical cartridge is said to sit in the groove a little bit deeper, and it makes more contact with the record, so you get an improved sound quality and less wear on the record. So this cost me 40 bucks, 40 quid, right? From Richer Sounds. Now be aware that on Amazon they're selling this stylus, or this cartridge, for £121. They're taking, okay, they're having a laugh, aren't they? Now normally I would do an affiliate link in the description box below to send you to this to buy it on Amazon. I am not going to put that link in there because I'm not going to rip you guys off. Buy it from another source. You should be paying around about £40 for it, around about there. I don't know what that is in dollars or whatever, but about 40 quid. Don't pay any more than that. So what I'll do, I'll put a link to where I got it in the description box below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the two cartridges against each other to see if the difference in sound, if there is any difference, see if it's worth spending 40 quid. Is the sound difference going to be enough to justify spending that 40 quid? And also I'll go through the fitting process and the overhang and things, how to set it. Okay, but before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. Come on, subscribe. Okay. And if you get to the end of the video and you think, oh, that was a good video, oh, he's alright, he is, give this video a like, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down and jog on. Anyway, let's get on with it. So what you get in there? Well, obviously the box, some guarantees. I'll be keeping the box as well. I want to keep it as a spare for the old stylus. You get the cartridge itself, which is this here. Some screws, one's longer than the others just in case it doesn't fit. I need some longer screws with some washers. Got the instructions here, pop. And also what I did, I downloaded the manual for the LP3 turntable. And in the manual on page 13, you'll see this. And basically what that is you stick the head onto that, and then you measure out the overhang, which I'll go through in more detail later. And also, I printed off this from the Audio Technica website. And this is a protractor, so you can check to see if the overhang is correct when you're measuring out. So you just got to make sure that that line there, if you can see it on the camera, is a line just here, and this needs to be 60.325, and this needs to be 117.4 millimeters. So I just measured from that line there, and then I printed it off 100%, and it came out absolutely fine. It was no problem at all. The measurements were exact, but just double check that if you do use this, make sure you measure it to make sure the measurements are correct. You may have to mess about with your printer settings to get the right measurement. But I was lucky, I printed it off and the measurement was right. The first thing we need to do is take off the cartridge. Now, by undoing these nuts here. And always remember, make sure you've always got on the cover to protect that stylus when you're doing things like this. The good thing about the most Audio Technica turntables, and some others, some don't have it, but this one does, you can actually take the head off. And this makes it a bit easier when you're fiddling around the back. If it stays attached to the head, it can be more fiddly. So all I want to do is I'm going to undo these now, and then underneath here, I need to take these out here, just unplug them. So I'm just going to loosen the screws off a little bit. Just so I can move it forward. Okay, and it just makes it a bit easier to take these off. Okay, the wires are off. Now, they were actually really stuck on there quite hard. So just be aware of that when you're pulling them off, because you don't want to damage them. Okay, now I'm going to finish taking the head off now. What I'm going to do is keep that safe now, and if I ever need to use it for another turntable or for this one, if that one breaks, as a temporary fix, I've always got it as backup. Okay, so I just need to put this back on here, and there's two sets of screws, two longer ones, two shorter ones. I'm going to be okay with the two shorter ones, and obviously don't forget to put these washers on as well. The good thing about this is that they screw straight into the cartridge here. There's no bolts underneath, which makes it a lot less fiddly. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these on now. Now these things are really small, so just don't drop them on the floor, because you'll be hard pushed to find these again. They'd be gone forever. It's best to get them on the screw you're going to use as soon as you can, so they're on there safe without dropping them on the floor. Now, when you're doing this, it's best not to over tighten them, because you might need to adjust them back and forth. So that's too tight now, I can't move it. So just slacken them off just slightly, so you're able to move that back and forth a little bit to it's finding that right piece, so you get it exactly right when you go to set it on here. Okay, so I've got it on now, and if you look at this off page 13 in the manual, you want to get the overhang right. So you want to see that, if you can see that little dot there, you need to get the stylus on there, and the overhang needs to be in line with this line here. Now, I don't know if I can get it to do that. Got to be careful I don't damage the stylus. And you pop it there like that, and you can see that it's not right. It needs to come more forward. It's very hard to do this holding it steady. Okay, you keep it straight, all right, and then you can see that that's not lining up with this overhang at the top here. So I'm going to have to make an adjustment on that. But I just wanted to show you first of all what I mean by getting the alignment right and the overhang right. So obviously before I set it properly, I just want to make sure I put these wires on. There is a diagram in the instructions, but I put them, you can pretty much see where they are, but just double check you put them on the right channels, otherwise it'll mess you sound that they'll have rooms that coming out of the wrong channels. So just going to pop these back on. And again, be very careful. Okay, so what I did was align it up to this template here, which I got off the manual. Just made sure that the head was in line with all that, and it was all dead straight and square. And if I can zoom in on this, just show you. So using the protractor, you've got the dot here, you've got the dot here, and the dot there. And you want to use these lines to make sure that the cartridge sits in lines with these lines. So if I bring it back here, and line it up to this dot. Okay, that's bang on the dot there. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see that the cartridge here is smack in line with that. It's smack in line with that. It's on the dot and is exactly in line. It's not put out of place or anything. And now this has got to be the same on the inside dot. Okay, now I go to take it to the second dot. It's a bit fiddly getting it bang on. It takes a while to get it on. Okay, and as you can see, that's also dead straight there, dead straight at the front, and is lining up to the lines on the side and the front there. So that is beautiful. So now you've got it all on and sorted, you need to reset the tracking force and the anti-skate. So what you need to do is get it balanced. And you just turn that backwards then until this balance is straight. As you can see there now, the tone arm is now dead straight, balanced in line with the turntable. So then what you do, you set your anti-skate to naught, then you want to hold the back weights where it is, okay, and set that to naught. So the 0 is matched up with the line here, okay, and then what you do then, the recommended tracking force for this is 2 grams, so I'm now going to just turn the whole thing and line up to 2 here, and I'm going to set anti-skate then to 2, and that's it, all done. So that's it, all fitted. Yeah. Right, what I would say is that make sure you check it and check it again. I probably checked it more than 3 times just to make sure it was in the right position. You can never check it enough, because if it's in the wrong position you won't get the best sound reproduction out of it, and you might get excessive wear on your stylus and on your records. So just check and check again. And what I will do as well, in the description box below, I'll put a link to all the stuff I've got to do the measurements of the overhang. Anyway, so enough messing about. Let's compare them both. Unfortunately, I'll only be able to play a little snippet because, you know, copyright. I don't want to get the copyright strike and have the video taken down or demonetized. So I'll just play a little snippet of each, and you can go back and replay it over and over if you want to double check and see what you guys think. And there you go, what do you think? The recording wasn't the best. I did record it directly to my camera, so I could get a good comparison, but I couldn't get it any better than that, unfortunately. Maybe I need to upgrade my audio equipment. Anyway, but when I listened to it through the speakers, there was definitely a difference. The VM95 was slightly more clear, a little bit louder. The top end was slightly better, a bit more detailed. I couldn't really tell much difference in the bass. It seemed to be about the same. Was it night and day difference? Nah, it wasn't night and day. It wasn't like, oh my god, look at that, ow! It wasn't like that, but it was an improvement, and any little improvement's good. I think it was 40 quid well spent. You know, it's not a huge amount of money. I did think it did make a definite improvement. Anyway, thanks for watching, and again, if you like this video and you watched it this far, give it a like and subscribe, come on! Okay, catch you soon.